Mic check 2 1 2.
Is that how loud you speak?
11 12.
How do you speak?
I speak like this.
Seriously, I have to get back to work.
Hello, my darlings, and welcome to my little corner of YouTube land. Today is episode 10, and we will be revealing our February dye project, unless you have already seen it on Facebook or Instagram. So first we're going to go over finished items, works in progress, and squishy mail, and then we'll go all about the dye project and explain the dye process. We'll do pretty much what we did last month with our January dye projects. I don't know why I bother putting that so far away. Okay, so this is now finished because I took out the lace and I did 2 garter ridges before binding off. I think I bound off on the wrong side too, maybe. No, I bound off on the right side because the garter ridge would have come from the wrong side. Okay, sometimes I bind off on the wrong side because I like how the bind off looks that way. But it really doesn't matter because no one's going to know but you. So if you want to bind off on the right side or wrong side, it doesn't matter. Like for some things, if you're doing, if you're working on the bias, you do not want to weave in your end on the bottom corner of your shawl. Remember, we want to bind off on one of the arms. So anyway, I wanted to show you how much yarn I had left over. Pretty much what we had last time, maybe a little bit more. But like I said, I love this because I want to use up every last bit of yarn. I hate having yarn left over. Absolutely hate it, because then I got to store it somewhere or figure out something to do with scraps. And you know why I don't like making anything with scraps? Because that's a bunch of ends to weave in, and as my regular viewers know, I don't like weaving in ends. So anyway, I wanted to show you this whole bottom part because you'll recognize that big black mark, but the rest of it, oh, you can see another another part where the dye didn't take. There's so many. There's one there. There's a lot of them. Anyway, remember all those little ends? If you want, you can go back and watch January's dye project, where you see what this, we go over all of it. But anyway, there was still some mirroring and some alternating at the end, which I thought was really interesting. But there was a lot more of the stuff that I like, where it's the black and the green V's together. Anyway, like I thought, 2 rows of garter ridges, or 2 garter ridges, were enough to keep it from curling, and I did block it rather aggressively, and I wanted to I took pictures of how I blocked this, and I'm going to add it to the Facebook page, Mourning Dew Studio on Facebook, I have these as separate albums. So there is a January Dye Project album where I put all the pictures of the process, and then I put notes in the description so you can follow along, and it will stay on Facebook. And then once the blog is up on the website, I'll be switching them over to the blog. I mean, they'll be in both places, but I'd like to get everything in one place. So eventually we'll have a blog on the website, and then you'll be able to see everything, because I showed you how I block this, because it's a right angle on my blocking mats. I start here and I block up this side, because on the mat there's like a perforation, so you can follow it up, and then I do the other side across the other perforation, and then I measure both those sides, and then I do a top across the top, and then the top I measure in two sides. So where my seam, my middle spine, the spine, I measure from the spine over to here, and then I measure from the spine over to here, and mine never match, because one of my, and this has happened forever, one of my sides is always longer than the other, and it has to do with my tension and how I make my increases. So you can see this, it's slight, so this one is a bit looser, because there's my spine and here's my ends, so this one's a little looser here. It aggravates me, and it doesn't matter. I have tried to rectify it. I've tried to switch switch up which increases I use. I have not found a way, and some increases show more than others, like that one where there's an increase where you yarn over, and then in the next one I think you make 3 in the yarn over, and that one's even worse. That one, like, it was such a huge difference, and I was like, what? And it's just how my tension works. So one of my shawl sides, if I do them like this, one is always longer than the other. It's just, there goes my quest for the ultimate symmetry. It's never going to happen. But anyway, I just wanted to show you how this came out. I'm really glad that I redid it so you can see. I just love how it mirrored and then alternated, and how fun that was. So I'm really glad I think it looks better as the full stocking knit, and then I did get a little bit more wingspan out of it that way. But oh my god, isn't that just gorgeous? And then, like I said, try to put this under too. I'm not letting it go though, because last time this end, it's really not as strong a magnet once you've got something in between it. Like, I don't even want to go through to, oh wait, I had it the wrong way, hang on, let me see if I can. It's gorgeous though. I mean, we can have stuff just for looks, right? I mean, that's really looks good. Oh, I love it. Anyway, super happy with this. Very excited to see what the next months bring with the other colorways. I need a new bind off, because this bind off is just not doing it for me. This is the Knit To Get. I think it's the Russian. Is it the Russian bind off? where you knit two and then, or you knit one, then you knit another one, and then you knit those two together through the back loop, and then you knit one, and then you're supposed to put the other one back on the needle and knit through the back loop, but I put them on the other needle and knit through the back loop because it's easier that way. Anyway, it's not my favorite. It used to be my favorite, and now it's really not my favorite. I don't know. I went up a needle size this time to kind of, I don't know why it's not my favorite anymore. I feel like I need a new bind off, because my tops I do the yarn over bind off. I like that for ribbing a lot, especially if you go up a needle size. It's perfect for ribbing. Anyway, what are we working on? Whips. Oh, guys. Oh my god, pain in. Okay, so remember this one, my famous lace shawl that went missing for a year. I really had no idea where it was. I don't even remember where I found it. But I was missing two skeins, and they were my favorite skeins, so I knew they were safe, and I knew I didn't get rid of them, but I couldn't, for the life of me, could not figure out where they were. This is not the color. It's really not this. None of my colors. I mean, this is pretty spot on. But this is not as bright as this. Anyway. Okay. I must have been testing my lace pattern out, because this is my lace pattern. However, it is not in the numbers. Okay, my lace pattern was 7 holes in the mesh lace, and then I forget how many stockinette rows. Okay, but I don't like the number 7. I like even numbers, and I especially like the numbers 4 and the numbers 8, and I don't know why, but I do. So I had wanted to redo, like, my black lace shawl is 8. It has 8 holes here. So that means 16 rows. And I don't remember how many it has here, but that is the actual pattern that I ended up writing. So when I started back on this a couple days ago, I just read my work, because I was like, how many? So these have 6 holes, which means 12 rows. And then these are 10. So 6 and 10. And I don't know why I did that at all. So me finishing this is pointless, other than for my own enjoyment, and it's a shawl I'll wear. Like, I was hoping that this was actually my finished pattern that I just, was testing and then forgot it, and it's not. So I was gonna start over, but I literally had 30 grams left, and now I have 15 grams. So I probably won't get another 6 rows, and I'm trying to figure out how many rows I'm gonna need for, because my other ones I did 3 garter ridges, so this one I might try 2 garter ridges. I don't know. Maybe I'll do 4 holes. I don't know. So I was counting on this to help me with my lace pattern, and it's not going to. So that's a bit of a bummer, but I'll have a finished shawl to wear. So can't be that big of a bummer, right? So anyway. Oh, these are the same colorways. They're just on different bases. So here's our cashmere. Oh, I stopped in the middle of the row. I had to take Lola and Torment to the vet today, and I was knitting in the car because it's all curvy. You wait, and then they come out, and it's a big pain. But again, the color is not this much. I have not weighed my skein, but we gotta be getting close to 40. We get close to 40 grams. It's weird. I love how the bases look, or the colorway looks different on the different bases. And plus we're doing lace and stockinette. So anyway, these are both Harlot colorway is Harlot from Tina's Twisted Fibers, and I'll link her below. Please buy her stuff if you like it, because she was the only local dyer around here that would help me when I wanted to learn how to dye. She's very, very nice. So that's all I have. My two whips are the same colorway, just two different patterns. Squishy mail. I only have one squishy mail. And this is actually supposed to be here last time, but everything's... I have 2 packages now. This one got lost for a couple days. I had no tracking info on it. And I'm going to show you back here first, because this is a little bit subdued, then that it's not quite that saturated. It's a little bit like a more cloudy. I do like the tonalness. I got this because it is 70% superwash wool that is Corriedale and 25% nylon, and Corriedale is one that I haven't tried yet, but it's feeling very soft. Is it supposed to be softer than my favorite Peruvian Highland? Because it feels a little bit softer than that to me. But anyway, this skein was like $15, so I had to buy it. This comes from Woodwool Stone on Etsy. Oh, it looks like they also have a website. Well, I'll link them below too. And this is cool because they give you a little... Oh my god, you can't even see it. It's a whole project card for your... There's something for me there. So this is it's a whole project card of the pattern name, yarn brand, yarn weight, fiber content, yardage, needle size, washing instructions, start date, finish date. But it looks like they got some cool stuff that I didn't know about, because I just bought this yarn because I want to try, me, I love wools. I want to try different wools, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna leave it purple. I might over dye with like a gray or a black, maybe, to get something a little darker, which is what I usually do with colors. My whole dyeing thing, I think, started out as I wanted more gothy colors than I could get, so that's like the whole thing. Okay, anyway, that yarn is really nice. So let's go into our February dye project, which I have named Love Eternal. And I'm trying to not give away how I'm naming my colors, because I was thinking it would make some nice trivia for someone who figures it out someday. Anyway, also because it's Valentine's Day, February, right? It's like Valentine's Day, so everything's love, love, love. So I'm just popping it out of the skein, and I can't tell if anyway, oh god, it is not that color. It is not that color at all. Oh my god, it looks berry, and it's not. It is a true burgundy. It is not purple. It is not red. It is right in the middle of purple and red. It is a cool tone. a cool tone burgundy. It is probably my favorite color in the whole world. Oh my god, and look at this. One piece didn't get tied. I'm so so mad when I found this because it was like the next day. And I seriously, okay, because remember last time with these that didn't, okay, so I was like, when I did these meats, I was so careful. I was so careful. And they still got all messed up. Like, one of them, the black isn't dark enough. Do you see that? So and then the black is like red. So we didn't get enough over dye there. I wish you could see this color because it's, well, go on Instagram, you'll see the color. It's gorgeous. But anyway, we just have that one piece that isn't dyed. And I was like, oh my God, like if I had any stock made up, I would have just sprayed it until, but now I'm like, oh, I wonder where this will end up. It's a happy little accident, I guess, right? As Bob Ross would say. But like I said, these are for me, so I'm not, it's more for the experiment, so I'm really not, don't care. But anyway, let's talk about the dye pattern, and then we'll get into the dye itself and all of that fun stuff. So this is what I'm calling half and half with a twist, and the twist is that the half and halves are, one of the halves is the end, so but then you'll see that they also, I guess, are not as equal. Oh, this one's equal. Okay, this one worked out to be half and half. Still not really. Okay, so I gotta get better at that. It was really hard to measure. Okay, see if you stretch it. No, it's still not. It's still not. It's still not. So this was really not very good at all. I guess I did a terrible job. It was hard because I had to measure this like this way. So across the whole thing. And then try to, and I did not, first of all, it's my own fault because I did not plan this ahead of time of where I was going to, I was just like, oh, it's just half. It's just half. It'll be easy to tell. It wasn't. And plus, when these are dry and when they're wet, they're two different lengths. These are things that people don't tell you. So I'm telling you. Anyway, so the theory is that they're both half the skein is red and half the skein is black. It's just that these are separated. So you'll dye it this way in the middle in a pan with the ends hanging out, okay? And then you just flip. So we did the red first. You go on the Facebook page and see pictures. So we did the red first. See how this is even moving? See how this is moving? It does this while it's dyeing too. So it's all moving around. It's absolutely ridiculous. Maybe if I put more ties in, I don't know. But it's like a living thing. It's not like static, non-moving. Anyway, I'm going to show you the because remember I picked, oh, it's right here because I was already looking at it. I did again the 25% black, perfect match. So perfect. You can't even tell that is not, you can't tell which is which. Perfect match. swatch. Swatch your colors, guys. And that's how you get consistent work, especially if you're going to sell. That's how you get consistent colors. That's how you're going to be able to remake things, recreate the same things. So what I wanted to do, I don't know how well this is going to work, okay? So bear with me. I got a whiteboard to show you. It's like we're actually teaching in school now, okay? So, can you see this? I can't see it because it's backwards, so. Okay, so for our color, this is what we have to do first of all. Remember, half and half, so we're still doing half skeins. So half of our skein is going to be burgundy at 1% depth of shade. The other half is black at 3% depth of shade. I just ran out of room to write depth of shade. Okay, so for our burgundy, if you remember, green was a 50-50. Okay. Oh wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. This burgundy is 75% red and 25% black. Okay, so remember, we need half of 1%. So we have to take these in half. So 75 divided by 2 is 37.5. Do you remember that from last time? Okay, so that is the 75% of the red. That's half the 75% of the red that we need. So of this 35.2, 25%, this is backwards, so it's so hard to see. 25% is yellow and 75% is magenta. You remember last time our green was half and half, yellow and blue, remember? So this time it's yellow and magenta, 25-75. So 25% of 37.5 is whatever you see there. 9.37, okay? And then 75% is 28.13. Okay. Now, that's fantastic. Oh, so that's our 75%, right? So our 25% of the original 1%, 25 by 2 is 12.5, which we knew already from last month because it was the same as this from last month. Okay, so this is how we get half of our 1%. So for yellow, then we just move over 2 points. You go over 2 decimal points. So our yellow is going to be 0.09, and then our magenta is 0.28, and our black is 0.13 because anything above 5 you round up, below 5 you round down. Remember that? Do you remember that from math class? Okay, so this gives us exactly 0.5 grams. And if you remember last time, we had 0.51 grams, but it was okay. It didn't bother us. And that gives us 0.5% depth of shade, which is what we need for half of 1%. Are you with me? Are you with me? I know this is really difficult if you're not understanding. Okay, so it is hard. It's really, sometimes if you're not math inclined, it can be difficult, okay? But break it down. So we have 75, 25. So where's your 75, 25? Okay. That's black, red, black, red. So this is how we get the red. This is how we make our 75% red. Because our red is See, this is 100%. 75-25 gives us 100% of 75%. And the best thing is, you don't even have to figure out what these are. I literally go to my phone, and you can even ask Google or whoever. Ask Alexa too if you need to. Or you can just type. Like 25% of 37.5. It will give you the number. You don't even have to know. You just ask. Like, you don't even have to know how to divide or anything or multiply. I don't know how to do any of that. I just put it in Google and it gives me the number. And I go, oh, look at that. I mean, I know how to divide by 2, obviously. I hope you know. If you don't know how to divide by 2, might be too hard for you. And then this is just simple addition. But I always had trouble with percentages if they weren't obvious. So, I mean, I don't know how I did this in school, but it's so much easier with your phone. You can just, what is 25% of 37.5? And it'll tell you it's 28.13. That's how I did it. So anyway, let's go over here to our black because that's super easy. So half of our black, remember, I like my black at 3%. For bare yarn, 3% black. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Very easy. So, or you could have taken that from the last one because it was the same for the last one. So 1.5 grams will give us 3%, 0.5% depth of shade for a 3% dye. Does it make sense? Because if you were going to dye the whole skein burgundy at 1%, you would need 1 gram of dye. Okay? 1 gram of dye is 1% depth of shade. Okay? So that's really the most important thing. So if I wanted to do, conversely, if I want to do 1 whole skein of just black at 3%, that's 3 grams. Because remember, 1 skein is 100 grams. So this goes by 100 grams. So if your skein is 50 grams or if it's 115 grams, you're going to have to change your math then isn't going to be 100. But you could still get 1% on 115. You just would have to figure out what 1% is for 115, which would be like 1.15 grams if it was 115. So if you're doing half or 50 gram, it would be half. It'd be 0.5 grams. So that one's easy to figure out, but the 115 is a little harder. Do we have this? Is everyone on the same page? So our citric acid, I use citric acid as my acid. I hate the smell of vinegar. But some bases you will want to you will use vinegar, especially like Stellina. You don't want to use citric acid with Stellina. You want to use vinegar, white vinegar, with Stellina, and maybe Lurex too. I don't know. I have not looked into that because I don't plan on ever using Lurex. But as far as I know, the only one that you can't use citric acid on is, the only animal fiber that you can't use acid on. Well, Stellina isn't an animal fiber. But it's usually mixed with animal fiber. So my citric acid, I usually do a 3 to 4% for 100 grams. For that, you go by 100. Isn't that weird? Because you think you would go by like the actual pH of your water, and I'm not sure I've ever read what the actual pH of is needed for an acid dye. I'm not sure I've ever read that anywhere. because that seems like something important that I would write down. But what I did learn is your citric acid is between 3 and 4%. I tend to do 4% because I do black. And black sometimes needs higher heat and more acid to some of the other colors do, like magenta and turquoise. Some of those that take longer to exhaust, you might have to up your heat a little and up your acid to get them to stick. So anyway, it goes by the same as the DOS. So your citric acid between 3 to 4 grams per 100 gram skein. So I cut it in half. And so when I do the burgundy, I did 2 grams. And then when I did the black, I added another 2 grams, which is kind of weird, but I don't know how. I'm not quite sure how the acid works, to be honest. I'm trying to think of. In the books that I've read, there was a really good book, and I can never remember the name of it. But it was the only one that actually had any type of formulas in there, and she went through different techniques and temperatures and stuff like that. Because I wanted to buy it and have it as a resource because it was the only thing I found that actually had numbers, like facts and numbers and science and stuff like that. Because I always thought like I should be testing my pH, but I don't remember reading. Because then like people will tell you if you're to test your water, and if you like your tap water, whatever you're using for your dye, and because some of our water can be too alkaline and then you might need more acid, but they don't tell you what acidity you should be aiming for. If you have that information, if you have seen that somewhere, please comment with your source, please, because I would really like to know, because funnily enough, I am on a low acid diet because of I have suspected LPR. And so I've been on a low acid diet since June. So I was testing the pH of like all my teas. I made all my teas, tested the pH. I tested the pH of our water. But I've never tested the pH of when I'm dyeing it. I don't remember what our water was because it was a way above what I could, because I think I can't go below 4. I think I can't consume anything with a pH less than 4. You start at 5 and then you can go to 4. Anyway, not that it's helping me at all. I don't really, well, maybe, who knows? I still have attacks like every other week, so I'm not sure how helpful that is. But anyway, if you do know, sidebar, if you do know what the actual pH is, because there's so much misinformation out there about all of this that this black really came out kind of too tonal for my liking. Like this for sure would have been an oops skein, but I'm going to do it anyway. I've never done this dye pattern before. I think it would be easier if you had a bunch in your pan. It's kind of harder to do one skein at a time. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, there's lots of misinformation. Like a couple days ago, I got in an online disagreement with someone who was trying to tell me what temperature I should be using in my dyeing process, and Like, sorry, rando on the internet. I'm gonna listen to the manufacturer on this one. But I'm still amazed at how much of this art is so like shrouded in mystery. Why nobody knows, why it's not readily available for everybody. I don't know. So anyway, February die project, Love Eternal, half and half with a twist. I'm actually going to cake this up and get started on one of these. I am so excited to see if we have any differences. Oh, I also decided, which I didn't do on this one, but I decided that whatever ended up the top of my skein, like where I hook my silicone, what are those called? Zip ties. I have silicone zip ties. So wherever I hooked that zip tie, I was going to, that was going to be the top of my skein. So top of my skein. And good Lord, I think it's right here. No. It's right here. Yeah, right here. So the top is where there will be 4 coming together. This is the start of your skein. So I decided I'm just going to designate the top. I'm going to designate that as the top for all die projects. That is going to be. See, look at how much it moves, that this was the top. And that's when I started, these were equal. So that's how much the yarn shifted just through dyeing and washing, and it's like a living, it's ridiculous. It's so hard to, anyway. So from now on, when I'm dyeing, whatever is the top, wherever I put the thing is going to be the top. Because I didn't know, like, should I start it at the start of a, should that be the start of a color, middle of a color? I think middle of a color is better, honestly. But we'll see. I'm just going to, from now on, top. I actually did know I was going to do this burgundy. I told you guys last episode that I had it decided, and I totally lied. Because of course, our regular viewers will know that I plan everything, right? So you knew I was fooling you. I was joshing you, right? So yeah, I knew this was going to be burgundy. I actually don't know what the next ones are going to be. Because I had some ideas. Half and half burgundy, because first the January is going to be burgundy and February is going to be dark green, but then I switched them. And then I have purple, pink. Oh yes, that's going to be the tricolor. No, that's going to be the quarter color. So March is our tricolor, so that's going to be 2 colors plus black. So I was thinking of maybe gray and a purple. I thought that would be pretty. No, I'm going gray and blue. I have to do blue because I don't do blue. I'm not a blue person. I don't like blue. I really dislike blue. But our quarter color is going to be purple, pink, and teal with black. I haven't decided where the black's going to go next to on that one, though. So for next month's March dye, I wanted to do black, blue, and something else. I was thinking gray, but that might be boring. So I was thinking, what could we do with blue? I was originally going to do purple and gray, but I decided to do purple, pink, and teal because of the inauguration fashions that I just love. Oh my God, Michelle Obama looked amazing. And then Dr. Jill in her teal and Kamala in the purple. I just saw those three colors and I was like, oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous. So I was like, I need to do those three colors. And then black, because, you know, the men around them were wearing black. And I thought, what a great color scheme. Like, you can find color inspiration anywhere. Maybe I just need to look around for blue, because blue is not a color that I gravitate towards. I think because it makes me feel sad. I don't like to look at blue. I mean, royal blue's okay. Like, I haven't even picked out which blue I'm going to use. That's probably how I'll probably figure out that way. Blue and what goes good with blue. I don't know, because I don't do blue. So I'm pretty much purple, pink, and teal are like the colors that I like, and then green and black, burgundy and black. So blue, black, and I'd like to use a weird like tertiary color, like some, but that would also go with black. I think that's why I'm stuck with gray. I don't think there's anything I could, you know, I don't know what to pair with blue. Blue and, like, should I do a dark blue, like an indigo, or do like a royal blue? Because I want to have good contrast. So maybe we'll go with these were both 25% black, so maybe I'll go with the blue that's 25%. I don't know, I got luck. But if you have any idea what blue, because when I do blue, it's turquoise and I pair it with pink, and I would like to like not do that. Plus, like, those colors, I don't have to do anything. They come that, like, that's magenta and turquoise, and I'd rather like to not be that. I'd like to have more fun than that. So if you have a suggestion to go with my blue, leave me comments. Maybe we could do I don't know. I like these royal, like, jewel tones, so probably a royal blue and something. I don't know. I can't decide. I have trouble when it comes to primary colors. I don't ever, like, they're so, you know, like, primary, like, childlike, unsophisticated. So when I see blue, I'm like Superman, like red and blue Superman, you know, Spider-Man, you know, like I see like crayons, like I don't see paint, like some artwork. Maybe I need to look at some artwork or something, see what will go with blue. I don't know, you guys. I don't even want to think about it because it's too far away. It's a whole month away, and we only have one more episode before we're planning March stuff. So, oh my God. We only have 28 days this month, so maybe it's good we didn't do a big project. So, anyway, I don't know why I'm twisting this up, because I'm gonna cake it up. I'm gonna cake up the two things for the top I haven't even started yet. But that lace shawl will get done probably tomorrow, because I'm not going to work on it tonight, because that's my day project, because I have to sit by my scale, and my scale doesn't like to work on weak tables. You have to have a really strong table or it doesn't measure right. So that has to be in my spot in the living room where I knit. So that'll be finished tomorrow probably. So for sure you'll see that next episode. That'll be done. That cashmere is going to go in that spot. The cashmere will go because once I hit 40 grams, I'm going to have to pay attention and do that lace. So that'll take over for that. And then the one of this is mindless stockinette. Probably I might do the whole way through just to see. So we get a full, if I like the pulling, we'll do it all the way through like this. It'll make it exactly like this one. And then we can contrast and compare and see, what happens with those. I'm pretty excited to see what happens. I hope you are too. All 16 subscribers. So yeah, we're still in. I had a list of what dye projects we were making for the year. I'm trying to find it because we have some, and then maybe it's another one of these. Oh yeah, we still have some of my knit goals that I haven't done yet. So, here we go, dye projects. So January we did stockinette shawl black and green, February stockinette shawl black and burgundy. March is the tricolor. Probably, yeah, I have black, purple, and grayish purple, but I don't want to do that now. Can I do grayish blue? I don't think I have a grayish blue. I know I have a grayish purple. Quarter color I already have. So rainbow, no, I skipped that. So in June we're going to do the shorts, and then in May I have the rainbow micros, but I might be reconsidering that because if I don't have my bias shawl finished, there's no point. Because I'm not doing, if I'm going to have 20, if I want to have 20 ends to weave in, that's going on garter stitches. I'm doing those as I go. I'm not doing those later. No way. I guess I could. No, I don't want to. Maybe. We'll see. Then July, we're doing a cowl. And August, we're doing another cowl. And September, October, November. So the rest of those are different bases. So up until these 4 shawls were making the same bases, then the shorts are sport weight. And I don't know what base that is, but it doesn't matter because I'm dyeing them straight black. We're going to work those up and then dye after and see what happens. So that one, our dye project is going to be later in that month because I have to make them up first and then dye them. So that one's going to be, that's going to mess up our dye project. It's going to be later in the month. The cowl, it's a cable cowl, which I've never done. I'm not sure I've ever done cables. I've crocheted cables, which is different than knitting. I think I've knit like a headband cowl, but not like a big thing. So this one is a cowl that has a cable up the side. And I was thinking of making it teal, but now I don't know. So, because as I'm doing this stuff, I'm getting inspired with other things, and I still want to keep it kind of gothy, and because that's how I want to keep my dyeing. I want to keep my dyeing to stuff that you're not going to see anywhere, because I want to center on the goth coloring, which is probably why I have 16 subscribers. So anyway, once we get to September, we have a blue-faced Lassiter base, and we have a yak base, and we have a non-superwash merino, And then we have 100% merino, which I guess is a superwash merino. Because this is the sock, so this is superwash merino and nylon, which the nylon is how you get such bright colors. And I don't think I've dyed without nylon. I don't know. Because mostly I dye my tops. And I dye everything black, so it doesn't even matter. Like, the things I've dyed in color have been few and far between. So I'm curious to see how the different fibers work up and what we can expect from them, but that's so much far later in the year that I'm hoping I have more experience with color and stuff and see which of these dye patterns I like best, or if there's other ones I want to try, if I want to try like I really like, I showed you guys last time the green, the black and green that I speckled because it came out so much more black. And this is a brioche pattern. It's a head thing. So I think I'm probably gonna black speckle a lot of those because I love black speckles. I love that. Now I'm all thinking about next month's dye project and how I'm gonna figure out what to make with blue. And I don't want to think about that because I got too much crap to do. Okay, so lace shawl will be done next episode. Probably not on the cashmere, but maybe. And then we should have quite a bit. I'm sure I can get to 40 grams on the dye project by next time. And then I know what I wanted to talk to you about. Because remember, we don't have a big project this month because we're working on finding the symmetrical triangle on the bias, remember? So what I decided is, this hurts me to say. It hurts me to say that I'm going to do my test swatches in acrylic. Because, okay, I made a bunch more of these headbands because my black one was fading into the background. So I made a bunch of gray ones and a red one. And I made them in wool. First of all, I made some in wool. Superwash wool. And guess what happened? It kept stretching and stretching and stretching. And so I kept ripping it out and going back, and it just kept stretching. And the black one I wear all the time is acrylic, and it fits perfectly because it doesn't move. It holds its shape and it doesn't move. And although I do hate having acrylic next to my head because of how it makes me sweat and stuff, until I find a wool that maybe I have to use some non-superwash wool. I made a bunch of acrylic ones. I have to steam these flowers to get them to relax a bit. But I was real mad that I couldn't use my leftover superwash form, but it just, the holes got huge and they just wouldn't work. So I'm going to have to find some sort of non-superwash wool that I can wear against my head, because this is I'm like sweating behind my ears or something. Like, it's gross. It's grossing me out. I don't like to wear acrylic. But anyway, as I was making these, I was like, oh my god, this is right. Like, it keeps its shape. So I was thinking, if I use acrylic to on my experiments of making the triangles, that's probably going to give me a better representation of how I'm going to make that shape, because that's the most important thing, is to get that shape so it's symmetrical. And with wool, you can kind of manipulate it into a shape that you want, and that will be helpful. But if I can get, I'm thinking of making my prototypes on a light colored acrylic, and then once I've got it, work over to some superwash wool and see if we can keep the same shape. That's where I'm thinking of. That's where my mind's at right now. So hopefully next week I will have some swatches to show you of how we're going, because I'm gonna, even if I fail, well, I probably won't keep those ones, because I'll probably just rip them out and start over. I don't know. I guess it depends how much light colored acrylic I got, because if I use light colored, I can count the stitches and I can like keep better track. I can read it better. Anyway, I think that's it for this episode. I hope you had fun talking about the dye stuff, because I have fun talking about the dye stuff. I hope you like the color. So go on over to Instagram and see that color if you like it, because this looks like berry, and it is not a berry. It is for sure burgundy. It looks actually really nice. It's like a reddish version of this. So anyway, I can manipulate the color on those to show the right color, but I can't do that on here. You can't see it. So anyway, place your bets on where that strand of undyed yarn is going to end up, because I'm betting it's going to be like right in the middle, and then eventually I'll make a little dye stock up and spray it on there and steam it maybe when it's all done. I don't care. Hopefully it's like, on an edge or somewhere where no one's gonna see it. I don't know. I'm just betting it's gonna be like it's gonna be like right here where this black part is. This is my bet, that it's gonna end up right here, right in the right focal point. Didn't that work out to be a nice focal point on this though? Oh, it's so awesome. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna sign off, guys, because I think we talked about everything, and I don't really like to go over an hour. So yeah, I hope you like the new dye project, and if you want to follow along the progress, I do post Instagram every day around noon, and I'm also doing the Fiberwary challenge over there too, which is getting some like personal stuff out of me, which I don't like to do, because I don't like to be personal on the internet. But yeah, so if you can keep up with me on Instagram in between the shows if you want to see what's happening. I post once a day, Monday through Friday. I don't post on the weekends because I need a break. I'm a one-woman show. I'm doing everything, so yeah, that's it. Okay. I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna say goodbye, and have a wonderful weekend, and see you next week.